Hello, beautiful creative soul, and welcome back to another episode of Chakra-Care for the Creative Soul. I'm so happy that you're here. And if you were just trying to catch me live a moment ago, I didn't realize I was muted. So I'm back, and I'm going to just hope that you're still watching live. And if not, thank you for watching live. And I'm sorry I was muted before. um, Today's topic is all about 3 reasons why your gut brain health matters if you're a light worker. And I'm so happy and grateful to share this topic. It kind of came to me a little bit later this morning because I was sitting with another topic. And this is what actually came through the loudest as being something I wanted to share. And so I was setting everything up early this morning, and I think I hit the mute button because I had the studio open just before I went to grab some breakfast, and I forgot it was still muted. But better late than never, as they say. So that's why I'm just re-airing it now because it's a really important topic. And it's an important topic as I'm sitting here on a Toronto morning. I've got actually lots of lights on, and I still look like I'm still sitting a little bit in shadow. I just want to acknowledge that. And maybe it's apropos for today's show because it is all about um, recognizing, sometimes those hidden things that can help us when we're aware of them. And I'm going to share a little bit about my journey briefly to help illustrate how I arrived at this awareness. But first, I want to talk very specifically about the top 3 things that gut brain health supports us with as light workers. And I was very specific with today's title because, if you're someone who identifies as a light worker, you're someone who, has most likely been through some really challenging, rich, learning, soulful life experiences to get you to this now moment where you are really, looking to get clear, if not already clear, on your deeper reason and vision and meaning and mission for being here. So this whole, you know, topic is very relevant because recently, actually, I was watching a really fascinating documentary on trauma. And I just want to kind of frame today's conversation with that piece because in it, there was a really powerful quote from a Canadian doctor who's very well known worldwide called Gabor Mate. Does a lot of trauma work. And the quote was that I'm going to just read it because I don't want to butcher it. It's in my little notebook because as I was watching, I noted it down. And he said, children don't get traumatized because they get hurt. Children get traumatized because they're alone with their hurt. And the reason that struck me, and it actually I cried when I heard it and I was writing it down, is because I think the biggest piece for all of us, regardless of whether we had a happy childhood, regardless of whether we, had a difficult childhood, whatever the case might be, is that if you're a light worker, you're most likely someone who has depth of processing, whether you identify as being a highly sensitive person or maybe an empath or a combination of the two, very intuitive. And so this depth of processing can mean that and the depth of processing, I'm getting that from the work done by Elaine Aron, who wrote the book Highly Sensitive Person. And that's one of the characteristics she's found through her own research. And so when we, as light workers, when we go through these experiences that offers a lot of rich soul growth, they're like fertilizer for the soul. And at the same time, as we're stepping into greater clarity and expansion, there's a lot of unwinding and peeling back of layers of learning to and transformation to get to that wisdom and to refine ourselves through that alchemical process of all that we've been through. And so the way this connects to gut brain health is I started connecting the dots recently through my own journey and experience is that when we're going through these shifting times where there's so much rapidly up leveling, and we're expanding. We can have a lot of these layers, almost like the Russian doll effect is what I call it, of from our experiences of emotions that are stored in our energy field as well as our physical body. And over time, you know, the impact of all those emotions that we're unwinding has also had its impact on our physical body. And one of the biggest pieces I've been learning this year is the impact of, you know, our gut health on our mental health. And I know in the five medicines teachings of my own spiritual teachers that I've been following for close to 2 decades, Master Lady Kira Ra and Sri Ram Ka, she talks about the connection between between the mind and the physical body. And so what I have been discovering in my own journey is that, one of the top things as a light worker is to be able to metabolize our own life journeys, experiences into more light for the planet, to be able to receive the soul nourishment from those experiences without feeling weighed down and shut down by those experiences, to mine our souls for those nuggets of gold so that we can then enrich not only our own journey, also to positively impact and enrich the journeys of so many others around us. And so that ability to to receive the wisdom, to receive the nourishment, on our spiritual journey, is also mirrored back to us in our physical body, right? Our physical body is a mirror, because one of the things I've been learning in my own journey is that if I'm in anxiety or in hesitation or fear, it's oftentimes been connected to places inside of me that I still needed to unwind from past experiences. And because my body's in 3D, it's the slowest moving time compared to maybe my solar spirit, which is, high velocity, high speed internet. And my body's still kind of like dial up, for those of you who are old enough to know what I'm talking about. And so the body of form needs extra reassurance. And so this is one of the reasons why caring for your gut brain health as a light worker is so important, because our body's ability to metabolize, you know, what we're consuming, what we're putting into it to receive the nourishment it needs in order to have a good communication between the gut and the physical brain, is so essential. Because what research is finding now is that mental wellness starts actually in our gut, which was called for many years the second brain, but it's actually more like our first brain in many ways, because that gut brain axis, and it also touches the heart too, which is also an important communication center. It's really a tripart signaling system in our physical form. This is what allows us to receive nourishment in our physical body and be able to also have nervous systems that fire and wire in a way that support us on our spiritual awakening journey too, to be able to receive the clarity, to receive the the signals in our own physical sensing system, um, because at the end of the day, everything's absolutely interconnected. Like, they're not mutually exclusive, right? So definitely metabolism is one benefit of brain gut health for light workers. Another one, as I started to share, was the focus and the clarity. When I started taking care of my brain gut health over the past year, I've noticed that the brain fog has lifted a lot, and it's easier to see things much more clearly and to focus on things more easily. It's still improving, and it'll get better over time too. But I may have shared in past shows, I've been through some really difficult things in my life, and I'm sure a lot of you have, or you wouldn't be listening, right? We're into healing work. This is something that has been a game changer in my life, because it having this piece in place, reassuring the body of form, supports all the other good practices that I also naturally do, from positive affirmations to prayer to all kinds of things. Essentially, what I'm trying to say here is that there's like less drag on my physical system in terms of being able to um, be present um, with all of myself on board. And then the third piece is the motivation. I used to think, I used to think that motivation was a mental thing. And then when I got onto my inner awakening journey, I used to say, well, it's not my will, it's divine will, right? And it still is divine will. And what I've also been discovering, and only take any of this if it resonates with and for you. This is just my journey, and I just felt inspired to share today with the intention that it might help someone else who really might need to hear this or be looking for this information, is that when I started healing my brain gut health, I started noticing that I was experiencing motivation that wasn't coming from thinking my way through life. It wasn't a thought, it was a physiological sensation that I could just do it. And one of the other beautiful byproducts of caring for my brain gut health has been mental calm and spaciousness. And again, this isn't about affirming it only with my intentions. This was palpable. And well, affirming it is a very big piece because ultimately consciousness is healing. What I've just noticed in my own journey, and this is the discernment I wanted to share today, is that the physical body of form is very dense, and it's what we navigate this 3D plane with. And there's so many powerful inroads to working with it. What I've just been noticing is that healing the gut brain health piece surprised and delighted me in ways that I wasn't expecting, because I was actually quite resistant to it initially, in the form that it was presented to me in. And I almost pushed it away. I almost said no to it for a number of reasons. The price, the name, it was cutesy wootsy. And I thought, oh, I don't know, this is a gimmick. And a year later, I can say that I'm in a much different place in my physical body than I was when I first started. And so this is why I encourage all light workers to really notice this piece, and pay attention to it if it's pinging for you right now. Because long story short, before I close off today's share, which is going to be a little bit briefer because I'm hopping on over into my In Rhythm with Your Soul free book club. If you'd like to join that, there's information below about how to join us. I just wanted to share that, some of you know, I was rear-ended by another car and pushed into another car back in 2023 on Valentine's Day. And after that, I was white knuckling it every time I got into the car. It was very uncomfortable. And then, as much as I called on Archangel Michael and Uriel and blue lit the car and platinum lit the car and said positive affirmations every moment that I was driving, I was still in a coping mechanism. My body of form, my nervous system needed that reassurance. I did energy work on myself, all kinds of things. It was just my body was acting out. And fast forward, almost a year later, I can honestly say I can get into the car now and I feel alert. I feel calm. I feel I'm back in that flow state again when I'm driving, and I'm not in hypervigilance. And so it gave me back my life in that way. And so this is where I just felt like there might be someone out there listening today, either live or on the replay, who needed to hear that and who needed to know that this exists. And the protocol I've been using is really easy. I'm actually, this is it right here. It tastes absolutely delicious. It's just 3 powders that I mix in water, and it's clean, it's sustainably harvested, it's non-GMO, it's It's sugar-free. I use the caffeine-free one too because I find my nervous system responds better to that. There's no artificial sweeteners or flavorings in it. It's nootropics and targeted strains of pre, pro, post, and phytobiotics that help the body to produce more dopamine, GABA, and serotonin. And it's just, I'm still on the journey, and I'll share more with you down the road. But I wanted to give it a shout out because I've been seeing it making a difference in my own life and other people's lives right now too. So if you'd like me to share more with you about it, I just wanted to let you know that it exists and that it's supported me a lot, and it's continuing to support me a lot. It's supporting my mom too after her car accident. She's on it also. And if anything, it's helping me to drink more water too. So if that's something you would like, if you're curious about it, drop a curious below in the comments, or you can send me a message at info@pollyanablanco.com. It's actually the first mental wellness company to ever exist. And again, I'll share a little bit more in a coming future episode about mental wellness because basically we're all on a journey of looking for optimal wellness in all aspects of our experience. And so whatever you choose for yourself, I hope you choose something that you feel gives you the support you need. And as a light worker, do pay attention to your gut brain health, because I know when I started really paying attention to it and learning more about it, I was amazed and delighted at how everything the physical body of form needs really starts in the gut brain connection. And it's something that goes way beyond just taking probiotics or prebiotics. There's a lot more to it than that. So do look into that if that's something that's pinging for you. And I want to wish you a wonderful week. Be well, beautiful, creative soul. And until we meet again during our next show, lots of love and light. And I just checked the comments. There's no comments. So I'm going to close off and wish you all a beautiful week. Bye for now.